Hello, community. Today I read something really interesting. OpenAI strikes a deal here with a news agency to pay for using its data in training its AI system. Tech companies have used news article to train AI without their permission. Now OpenAI will begin paying for some of it. And I thought, what a beautiful introduction to a topic I wanted to talk about a long time now. So let's have a look. In the article, it said OpenAI, Google, and other AI companies have used billions of sentences pulled off the open internet to build the LLMs that power now our chatbots. News stories, Wikipedia articles, social media content from all platforms and blog posts have all gone into the models without permissions from their owners. As according to the Washington Post, with tech companies arguing they are free to use the data. Now, on Thursday, Washington Post, thank you Washington Post, reported that the Federal Trade Commission in the USA, in the United States of America, opened an investigation how OpenAI used customers' data to train its model. And we have here Professor, University of Miami, who studies intellectual property, a very good profession for the future. The datasets include a lot of content that is copyrighted. The owners of the copyrights are not consenting to these uses. It is possible to imagine tech companies and content creators striking more deals. So let's have a look at what happened. And as always, we start to understand what happened until now. Now, as you can see here, July 13, 2023, FTC investigates OpenAI over data leak and ChatGPT's inaccuracy. And this is a title you read over, but no, there's some interesting facts in this. Because here we have now the greatest US regulatory threat today for OpenAI. So, what happened? The Federal Trade Commission has opened an expansive investigation into OpenAI, probing whether the maker of our chatbot, beloved darling, has run afoul of consumer protection laws by putting personal reputations and personal data at risks. OpenAI Sam Altman said, hey, the company will of course work with the agency, which is great. But you see what is suddenly emerging. And here, interestingly, here in the US Congress, the US House Judiciary Committee, where Republican lawmakers, blah, blah, blah. Now the CEO of this FTC had a hearing. And they were asked, hey, why you can do this to the American industry? And the response was that the misuse of people's private information in AI training, could be a form of fraud or deception under this specific FTC Act. Here is the link to the Washington Post if you want to read this article by Kat yourself. But you know, something else is going on here. Now, because along with the news organization, also book authors have sought compensation for their works, for their books, for their publication, being used to train our current AI system. And I read here, cheddar.com, this is the link for you, more than 4,000 writers signed a letter last month to the CEOs of OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, and Meta. Hello, Meta! Another yes for you. Accusing them of exploitative practices in building their chatbot that mimic and regurgitate their language, style, and ideas. So, there is some drive now. Bloomberg. Here, a mail I received by Bloomberg Business and say, yes, US Federal Trade Commission open an investigation into OpenAI, questioning, triggering the loss of millions of jobs. So you see now why politics is suddenly involved with this. Because the technology in itself is very interesting. But what does it do to our society? What does it do to the job market? And not just to the US job market, but to the global job market. And Bloomberg has here this very interesting source by Bloomberg in this email I received from Bloomberg, specifying here the global layoffs, the top 700,000 layoffs starting in October 2022 till July 2023. And you see here in white all the other sectors, but 3 sectors are extracted specifically. And the most dominant sector for layoffs in the last 9 months was technology. And a little bit with financial, where financial institutions optimize now different parts of their business now also with AI. And you see the sector, the layoff here in this sector is growing. And the argumentation is maybe in the future it will not only be limited to the layoffs here in the tech and in the financial sector. So we have here a new wave coming to our society. Now, there's some other information, July 13, 2023 here by Petapixel. You have here a link to this beautiful article by Matt. And you see yesterday at a, again, US Senate Judiciary Committee hearing on AI and copyright, Stability AI, the head, Public Policy Ben Brooks admitted in front of US Congress using billions of images without asking the copyright owner's consent to train their image generator Stable Diffusion. It is not the optimal company portfolio if here the head of Stability AI said, yeah, we used here billions of images without here asking for the copyright consent from the owner who own the copyright of those pictures and images. So you see, the wave is getting stronger. But it's not only particular this company. We also have here from Petapixel here from December 2022, Midjourney founder admits to using 100 million images without consent of the copyright owner. So if you, as a single journalist or as a single photographer, use the work of another photographer or journalist without giving credit to the work of those other people, those other persons that are the creator, you are in deep trouble. So what happens to companies that use this on a base of hundreds of millions or here billions of images and violating the copyright of the creators? I think it will be very interesting how the US courts will handle these legal issues. And we can learn from this. And now, after seeing all of this and understanding of the wave that built up in the last months, now we have here July 13, 2023, as I told you, Associated Press and OpenAI partner to explore generative AI use in the news. Now you say this is a very boring title and okay, another partnership, but no, there is something in this partnership and there's a reason why this happens right now. Because look at this. We have here Kristen Heitman, Senior Vice President and Chief Revenue Officer from AP. We are pleased that OpenAI recognizes that fact-based news content is essential to this evolving technology, I think she means AI, and that they respect now, OpenAI, the value of our intellectual property. So now we have this intellectual property by OpenAI, and I think it is marvelous here. So AP firmly supports a framework that will ensure that intellectual property is protected and that content creators are fairly compensated for their work. Imagine you are a content creator and you write an article or you write some personal data or you create a photograph or you create, I don't know, some technological insight. And you are a content creator and you have rights. It is your baby, it is your work. And if somebody takes it away without paying anything, without even giving credit to you, you decide if this is the right way to do. And the US courts and the US law agencies and whatever there is, the Federal Bureau of whatever, will decide this in the coming months for the US. So what is happening now in this article is that now the Associated Press, the company that is holding here the copyrights, is licensing now here part of its archive, and I think it goes back to 1985, 84. So you have an immense archive of news stories going back decades. And now OpenAI pays to get access to this actual fact-based news content. So I think this is a significant first move that we see here published by Reuters in this case. And here's the story to the Reuters Business Media Telecom link to read it yourself. Amazing. Now they start to pay for the license, and now we see here a scheme. And I think it's fascinating. Look at this. We have here, under the wave in stealth, we have a little startup. And we have some, this is just a Gedanken experiment. You know, this is just a theory. This has nothing to do with the companies I just mentioned before. So we have a little startup and another big corporation is dumping money on it. Hundreds of millions, billions of dollars. And the startup grows and the company is dumping more money, billions of dollars now in this startup. And as you can see, it's still in stealth mode. It's underwater. Nobody sees this company. And this company accumulates data, borrows data from the internet. And another global corporation is pouring money in, billions of dollars, that this small company can do this. And now suddenly this company here is no more hidden under the wave. It's now here officially recognized. It has a product on the market. For example, I pay to use this product by the company. I pay 25 euros per month for this company. And also this global corporation now pours tens of billions of dollars in this now major company. And suddenly this company now, that is a mighty global industry dominating company, let's say maybe even an AI company, now this company starts to pay licenses to the creator of data, of numerical data, of image data, of textual data, of insight data. Isn't this interesting that they move from here to here? How long you can stay hidden and not being prosecuted for any violations that might have happened in this Gedanken experiment. And then comes the time where suddenly this mighty global company decides to pay licenses. And I know here the license part is much too big. It should be much, much smaller. But, you know, otherwise you would not have been able to see here the license amount in US dollars. So, yeah, and now creators get paid. And you might say, okay, what is the inside of all of this video? The past is gone. The past is past. We don't cry about the past. Yeah, maybe the US courts will have some legal problems with this. But what insight do we have? Now, these AI companies need new data, need actual data, need fascinating new data happening today, happening tomorrow. And all this data now, they are heavily in search of new data to have a competitive advantage against their own AI competitor. And now they're looking for new data. And if you now here, let's say in the future, you are now a creator, you create new textual data, new image data, new insight data. Now, there is now opening up a complete new market for those new, actual, up-to-date data. And now it is up to you as a content creator, as a data creator, to know the position that you have in this market interplay. To understand the value of the new data that you generate, the new images you take, the new photographs you take, the new insights you report on. Because one thing is sure, the AI companies, they want this new data. Their competitive advantage is based on this new data. Because all the data of the past they can simply buy with hundreds of millions or billions of dollars. But how can they get access to the new data? So this emergent marketplace here for new data. If you are a content creator, I would like to tell you your data are really valuable to a lot of companies. So if you make a deal with those AI companies, be aware of the value that the new data that you create today, the new data you will create tomorrow, and the new data you will go on to create, those data are really, really valuable to AI companies. So this creates a new market for content creator. So play it well, play it intelligently. This was it for today. I hope it was a little bit of informative. I hope you enjoyed watching and listening, and it would be great to see you in my next video.